So, good afternoon, hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, hola a todos. Here we are to talk about two very important aspects, for me at least. Welcome to the Authenticity and Coherence Conference. So, ready to think about what are these concepts about? And I will allow you like 1 or 2 seconds just to think about these concepts for your own perspective, or from your own perspective. Do they ring a bell? Do you think them as important constructs for the building of your career, or maybe not? So think about coherence and authenticity and which is the role they play in yourselves and in your lives. Ready? So here we go. According to the dictionary, which is a very nice place to start a conference, authenticity is explained as being faithful to internal rather than external ideas. So we will explore authenticity here as something that grows from within and something that you follow from within. The second concept is coherence. Coherence, it's defined as a property of self-consistency across a set of assessments. So we have two main concepts, authenticity and coherence. And let's see what is the role they play for the building of your own career. One important thing is authenticity being following something, or meaning some sort of stability. It's not about being always the same, but about evolving in ourselves. So being authentic doesn't mean that the same professional that you are going to start with, it's the same professional that will be in 20 years in the future. It means evolving, but within yourself. On the other hand, coherence means something that comes from within. It starts within ourselves. So these are the main aspects that we are going to explore here. First of all, let me introduce myself so you can see a little bit what is the framework from which I'm speaking with you. My name is Edite Amorim. I'm Portuguese and I belong to Thinking Big, which is my own brand or company, as you want to call it. It mainly designs and provides training and conferences, more or less like these ones. And I've been working for already 12 years, 5 as Thinking Big. Thinking Big is related to creativity and to positive psychology that is focused on what makes people better. I'm just explaining this so you can see the actual application of these two constructs for the building of my own career. And this is also the starting point of the concepts that I'm going to show you. So everything will come from my own practice. Ready for the journey? So this is who I am as an entrepreneur. 12 years working as a freelancer. This is not an example. And this is an important thing. When I was invited to speak and I chose these two themes, I chose them not because I was the main character personifying them, but because I truly believe and I'm trying to be worried and consequent with these two themes. So it's not because I'm an example of those, but because I'm on my way to them. And this is my proposal for you as well. To see how far or how close your own path it is from these authenticity and coherence constructs. Okay, when I was invited, I could speak about many things. I could speak about creative path, thinking big and perspective, proactive attitude, redesigning the impossibles. These are things that I've spoke many times already. The thing is, as I speak with more and more people from companies, and I work with people from companies all over the world, a little bit from Russia, from United States, from Brazil, all over Europe. And the more I speak with my clients and also with other colleagues, the more I see that authenticity and coherence, they seem a little bit of soft concepts, but they are actually what is building the actual careers. So, though they are not a sexy construct such as creativity, for example, authenticity and coherence are actually on the base of the most important careers of the people that I've been speaking about and that I'm been speaking with as well. So this is why I chose these themes. So what do you earn when you have these two things in your career, you may ask? One thing that I'm very proud, I would say, and it's also the focus of my suggestion for you. It's that you earn projects and ways of working or ways of doing things that you can always be present and show as yours. Something that even it's a little bit weird, you can always show as something that represents you. And here is I chose especially a very weird example to show you how this authenticity works. This is me, like 6 years ago, more or less, in the United States, in the first international poster presentation I've done in Philadelphia. I was really, really happy to be there sharing and presenting my work. And at the end of the conference, instead of posing in front of the poster very happily, very proud, I just asked the colleague in front of mine, would you mind taking a picture of me jumping? So actually this is what I've done. It was 6 years ago. Maybe the dress was too short, maybe the posture was too crazy, but that was me 6 years ago. And now you ask, okay, what is the authenticity and coherence part here? Now I would probably wouldn't do this. Maybe because I'm older, maybe because I don't wear so short dresses. The thing is, this is something that though I wouldn't probably do now, I'm still capable of showing you the pictures and saying, well, this was me back then. This is what makes who I am now. So even years later, I can still see some coherence on the first steps. So this is me not so much time ago with some students in Ireland after a presentation and a very important conference on creating your future, and this is the picture we took together. So yeah, it's not exactly the same, but the essence is there. So authenticity means that you can do wherever the way your path will evolve, you will still be able to show this is where I'm coming from. I don't do the same, but this is somehow part of myself. Another thing that you really can earn from authenticity and coherence in your own path is that you earn clients that trust you and trust who you are. These are some examples of 3 clients of mine. In the middle, I have an Irish client, and the 2 others are Catalonian clients. And these are clients that actually are now my friends. This is not something that I would like to say, well, we have to stay friends with our clients. It's not about being friends. It's more about building bridges and relationships that after they pass as the professional part, somehow they have something that sustains them. And this is a very important point for me, that when you are authentic, when your relationship and your professional relationships are based on something that's really within you, remember the definition of authenticity at the beginning, something coming from within, when you work in this framework, what you gain is clients and eventually providers that are also aligned with you, with your vision, with your way of being, with your way of relating at work. And this is something very important because relationships are actually on the base of the career we are building. So after these things, I would say that authenticity and coherence allow you things that last. Not as a hug, but something that really lasts, as relationships that you can really trust and be established upon. So you may ask, you also define yourself through what you refuse. Because in your professional life, either if you are starting or if you are already working, you are going to have to refuse a lot of things. So let's see how we define by that. Saying no to things as themes. A theme for your PhD thesis, for example, or a theme for your final career work, or saying no to some proposals or for some projects. Something that is really tempting, a job offer maybe, something that's really, really nice apparently, but something is not actually fitting yourself. Or eventually saying no to companies or other institutions. An institution that seems very nice, but somehow you don't identify yourself with their values, with their mission. And what happens when we say no? And of course, we are talking about saying no from within, something that you see it's not according to the path you want to establish for yourself. Saying no sometimes doesn't actually or necessarily mean saying no and putting these things into the garbage. So it's not about putting things on the bin, but actually maybe making them happen later. So maybe you have this amazing company offering you a job, inviting you for a nice practitioner period. But you say, you know what, this is not the right time for me because now I want to do something else, or maybe I want to do something else before I go there. So maybe you can say no to some things and save them to later, because in that moment, that is not just your authentic path. That's not according to what you really want to build for yourself. Another thing that can happen is that you have a job, a proposal or a project, and maybe you will accept it under different conditions. So sometimes it's not just saying no, it's just saying, okay, I still want these, but not under these conditions. And setting and defining the conditions in which you want to work and in which you want to establish your things, sometimes it's really hard because you have to have them clear for yourself. But despite being challenging, it's also what allows you to actually define the path you are trying to build for yourself. And also the same for themes. Maybe you have a PhD proposal, amazing PhD proposal, and you say, you know what, this theme could be wonderful, but maybe not for a PhD, maybe for a post-PhD thesis. So sometimes saying no is not just saying no to things or yes to things, it means saving them for later or framing them from other points of view or other circumstances. So what happens to this saying no? Probably you'll be thinking, especially if you are still trying to get into the job market, maybe you're thinking, okay, don't you lose anything with this attitude? Probably you will lose something. And I would say, well, you can lose clients, you can lose projects, maybe you can lose money. And this is very easy to be afraid of, like losing. We are even starting and we are already speaking about losing something. It's kind of scary, I know. The thing is, maybe you won't earn these ones, but you will earn something else. So my question is all the time, so we'll actually lose? I think I have a misspell lose here. I'm watching this right now, I'm sorry. So actually, we don't lose things, we just earn other things. And in this authenticity and coherence building path means when you choose something, you also choose not to have other somethings. And this clever balance is what makes your path defined the way you actually feel it has to be built. And it takes courage. Of course it takes courage. Is it scary? Of course it's scary. I've been scared many, many times with this having to choose. The thing is, if by this time I wouldn't have chosen to refuse certain things, some other things wouldn't be on my path. So being brave enough to define your way according to the things, to the values, to the mission, you feel it's coming from yourself and from within your values, maybe it will help you define your path in a more coherent way. So let's see what you choose and what you refuse define who you are. And this is a very, very important place to be in life, especially like this Facebook sentence saying, choose to be yourself. All the other people are already taken. So you only have yourself to be. So actually choose your own self. Don't choose some other parts and bits and pieces from other supposedly nicely careers. Choose your own. So I'd like to be a little bit more provoking with you and kind of challenge you to find the center of your own path. And finding the center doesn't mean to be all the time, all the same. I will give you an example. As also, besides being a trainer, I'm also a writer. So I spend a lot of time traveling and writing. I'm also the one who takes 1 month and goes to a restaurant in Sweden to wash dishes and walk the dog. And I'm also the one who teaches dance in creativity dance classes for body expression. Okay, someone from the outside would say, okay, but you are a trainer. Your work is to give conferences and to provide workshops and to be an intellectual thinking about wherever. The thing is, this is also my path because this defines my center. So Edite, in this case, is also a dancer, is also a writer, and is also the one who goes and washes dishes in a Swedish restaurant. My message is, it is okay to go on a drift mode, drift meaning, go around and look for other things, if that drift sustains the core content of who you are. And in my case, these 3 other things, though they are not obviously connected to be a presenter or a conference presenter, this is also what makes me who I am. So it's okay to drift in your path and in your career if that is also all connected to who you are, defining the center of yourself as a person and as a professional as well. So being this the last message I would like to give you, one thing that can be scary is like, what if people don't like it? Okay, there is always someone willing to work with you. So this is my example. These are some of my clients. So these are some people that, despite seeing this in a weird way, this person that does many things or says no to some other things, there's always someone willing to work with you, and trust on that, because if your value is really clear, someone will want to come and join you. The same way, there will always be people ready to collaborate with you, either colleagues or some friends that want to help you in your path. So one thing that's really important by being coherent and by being authentic, you will not be alone. Even if you are weird enough to jump on poster presentations, you won't be alone. So trusting that, this is what is the use of all these, you may ask by now. So if you are still there, which I hope you are, my suggestion would be think for yourself. What do you earn by being coherent? What do you earn for yourself for being authentic with yourself? For choosing something that's according to you and choosing things that are not according to you. So if your answer would be a life that you can be proud of, this is also my answer to you. You gain that you are happier, or at least you feel a better sense of well-being, because you are building something that's according to yourself. And what other nice thing there is to do in building your professional career that feeling good at the end of the day of work. Even if you are giving your maximum or being tired, at least you are doing what you feel you have to do. So if you are living a life that you can be proud of, then you feel good about. And actually, I think we are all here to feel good about life, to feel good about the things that you are doing. So this is my final message to you. And this is the way you can stay in touch if you have any doubts or if you want to discuss further this theme. Thank you for your attention, and bye-bye. Good luck.